Hello everyone, just chilling at the park today. I'm going downstairs in an even more chilled area of this park. How is the audio, people? Can you hear me? Because I keep switching the microphones in these live streams until I find the perfect solution. Hello, Auke. Thanks for the feedback. Hello, everyone. Ooh, I'm next to the geese. Maybe it's not a wise idea to stay next to the geese, right? I've heard they are very aggressive animals. I'm always scared of them. So today I decided to take a day off, even if here I am, I'm doing a live stream, but I came to this park to find some calmness, some quiet, some stillness. As you can see, there are not many people around. There are very few people around actually. And I have a book with me, I was reading. I like this place underneath this beautiful tree. Today, as you can tell from my sweat, is a pretty hot day here in New York. Let me put you down. Gonna come to you in a second. I lost my sunglasses. I don't know where I left them. So I have this pair of $2 sunglasses that I got at the flea market, but I'm gonna have to buy a serious pair with UV protection and everything. Okay, let's read some of your messages so far. Some of your comments, your chat. I don't know how to talk in English. Okay, I am at a park. You know, honestly, now that I do live streams outside in the city, I don't feel comfortable revealing my precise location right away or previously. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you like in the middle of the live stream where I am, just for safety reasons. And Action Kid guess is Hudson River. I'm not on the Hudson River. Hello Elise! Bentornata, grazie. Doug, are you lost? No, I'm not lost, Doug. I'm not lost at all. I came here, I specifically planned to come here. Din Din, hi. Hello, JK from Camden, South Carolina. Terry, Terry is always here in my live streams. Hello, Terry. Hello, Team Hickey. Welcome here. Vittorio, Antonio. Hello from the Highlands of Scotland. Wow, G-Man, is it where you live? The Highlands. Wow, that's impressive. Not many people can say hi from the Highlands, I guess. What a gorgeous day, SPLV21. Yes, what a gorgeous day. That's why I planned this live stream for today, because so far this week it's been pretty cloudy here in New York. It's been raining and it was not very nice weather, but today it was the first day of actual sunny weather. Unfortunately, it's also very hot because it's sunny. I'm gonna try to put you in this position. Sorry, you're gonna be steady in a moment. Okay. Yeah, I like this. Someone says there is a strange noise. Is it still going on? C'è ancora rumore strano o si è fermato or it stopped? Because maybe it's a microphone. I'm using, as you can see, one of those furry microphones for this live stream instead of my lavalier. But if the lavalier is better, I have it in my backpack. I can switch in 1 second. Time for a kiss. Do the vegetables really taste better in Italy than in USA? Definitely yes. I think anyone who has been in both countries can say the same. Hello, Owen Crampton from England. Hope you are well too. Wait, I can take away the furry cover of the microphone. Hopefully the wind is not so strong. How is the audio now? I'm sorry guys if I'm annoying with the audio, but it's always something that it's hard to try out at home, you know, before the live stream. It's good, audio perfetto, it's fine, okay. All right. Mike Ryder, hi. Mike Ryder is another cyclist here in the area of New York State. George Froll says, because you don't buy veggies from farmers market. Well, no, I buy veggies from farmers market now. In fact, in the past, I would say for the whole August, I started buying most of my veggies from the farmers market in Union Square. I paid a lot of money for them, so I was expecting to get really good veggies, you know, like even better than what I would get in Italy. But it was not the case, honestly. I was very surprised to see that these veggies from the farmers that you find at farmers market and are really super pricey. Like for my European friends listening, we're talking about $5 a pound for tomatoes, which means like 9 euros per kilo, 8-9 euros per kilogram of tomatoes, like simple tomatoes, not fancy one or rare ones. They were decent, like they were as tasty as the tomatoes I would find at any supermarket in Italy, which for the price I was expecting something a little bit better, but at least I found decent tomatoes. I was able to enjoy some summer here, because it's hard for me to enjoy summer if I don't have summer food, because for me summer means fresh produce, fresh tasty produce. That's how I was raised, so that I cannot do anything about that. I need my tasty fresh summer vegetables. Brian F, hello. my new Patreon from this week. Welcome. Natasha Triplet, hello. You're not late, I just started since 10 minutes. Are you in Riverdale Park, she asks? No, I'm not in Riverdale Park. I'm actually curious to see, like in 10 minutes, maybe I'm gonna do a little walk so you can see where I am. I'm curious to see if any one of you is able to guess in which park of New York City I am. That Boy Guru suggests to buy a $40 boom mic. I don't know what that is. Right now I'm using the usual small Rode mic for $50. I bought it. Alan L. Alan L, it's your wife Donna's birthday today. Happy birthday, Donna. So happy to do the live stream in your birthday. In your birthday. Are you in Central Park? Owen Meyer asks. No, I am not in Central Park. Let's see, I'm reading your chat. As always, I should take lessons from Action Kid of how to read the chat in a live stream and talk at the same time. I'm the worst person at multitasking, people. Like, they say that women are the best multitaskers biologically because when they have kids, they have to be able to do multiple things at a time. It's not my case, really. Okay, let's see other guesses of the park. Oh wow, wait, too many. Let me see. Are you in Central Park? No, I read that already. Sorry, but the chat keeps going up and down. Prospect Park, Paul McDonough. No, I am not in Prospect Park. George says he bets he can guess. Let's see, George is a New Yorker, right? I guess. He's been commenting a lot in my latest vlogs, cycling vlogs. Adi, Bryant Park. Robert Lee, Riverside Park. Aaron, Prospect Park. No. Howie, Van Cortlandt Park. No. Mike Ryder, you couldn't get on Governor's Island? No electric bikes. Oh wow, I didn't know that. Governor's Island, for who doesn't know, is a small island on the tip of Manhattan, let's say, and it's close to the cars. It's very beautiful. I went there last year, but I didn't vlog, so people keep telling me, go to Governor's Island, but I went already. I know the place and it's so beautiful, but that day I didn't vlog because I was with my boyfriend. It was a free day for us, so I didn't want to, you know, film while I was with him. And apparently you can go by bicycle. You can take the ferry from Manhattan by bicycle at no additional cost. So there are scammers who will tell you that you should pay extra for your bicycle. Don't believe that. But apparently with electric bikes you cannot. That's weird. Again, I lost track of where I was in the chat. Chris Hartley, Astoria Park. I'm not in Astoria Park. Stephanie, hello. Stephanie, one of my Patreons. Nice to see you here. If you have kids, that's when you will learn to multitask, says Stephanie. That's actually, okay, so it's not a thing that women are born with. It's something that they learn when they become mothers, which makes very much sense. Natasha is guessing more. Fort Greene Park in Brooklyn. Victory in the scriptures, Fort Washington. Mike Ryder, Randall's Island. No, although Olivier Breton, hello Olivier. Tricky questions, the cloisters. It's too spacious to be in the cloisters. Elisa 52, thank you for the super chat, €5.49. Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Owen Meyer, Fort Tryon, no. But I'm gonna show you a little bit more, at least my surroundings here, because you really haven't seen much. This is what I can see right now. Frank, there's a fly on my nose? No, there's not. Maybe on your computer monitor. Okay, that's the surroundings, guys. Now let me stay here and chat with you for a moment, and in a while I will go around and show you. But let me read, because I'm getting so many questions, I cannot keep up. So, wait. Antonio Turiaco, he's asking me, when do you think to be back to your global nomad life? Very good question. Who knows? Certainly I don't. Yeah, I was thinking about it the other day, actually, about my nomad life. I try not to think about it too much because obviously it's something that I am missing. It's who I was before this pandemic. I was a digital nomad. But obviously now it's not only it's not easy, but it's a choice that I made. I talked about it in my last live stream, I think, but I never talked about it in a video, so I will repeat it now. I chose not to travel, especially by airplane, because as probably many of you know from people who have taken planes lately, they are not taking the right measurements for limiting the contagion of the pandemic, of the epidemic. So I don't think it's okay to fly at the moment if it's not for for very good reasons. Like, I don't think it's okay to fly just for pleasure, because there are so many alternative ways to spend your holidays, to travel, to be a nomad also, than taking the plane. And the plane is really something where they try to pack as many people as possible in the vehicle so that they can keep the costs lower. Whereas if you travel, for example, by bus or by train, it's also something I wouldn't really recommend that much right now, but at least they can distantiate people. But in the airplanes, at the beginning, they said that they would have left rows free, like alternate people row by row, but they, as many of you might know, they are not doing that, which is pretty crazy for me. I don't know why the governments are not doing anything about it. Since they were regulating every other business, why are they not regulating the airline business? I don't understand, honestly. But yeah, they're not doing much. So I suggest everyone to not take planes at the moment, not if you can choose alternatives, at least. For me personally, I think I have a certain extra responsibility in taking planes, because if I do, I have a big audience that will know about it, and I don't want to give such an example. So if someone else is taking a plane right now, maybe he really wants to join his family for the holidays somewhere where he cannot reach it by other vehicles, that's fine. But for me, I feel an extra responsibility because I have my YouTube channel, my Instagram profile, I'm on social media, so I don't want to give out the example that it's okay to travel for pleasure right now. So my nomad life is something that I try not to think about right now, because I certainly miss it, and I'm not gonna go back to it anytime soon. Okay, let me go back in the chat a little bit. Other guesses for the park. In the meantime, I show you a little bit of the background. Phantom Stranger says Karl Schurz Park, which I've never heard about. No, it's not. Owen Meyer, Inwood. It's not Inwood Park in the north of Manhattan. AJ says you are at Lake Como. I wish, I wish, AJ, I was at Lake Como. I would be so close to home. Paul McDonough, Hudson River Park. No, I'm not on the Hudson. Paolo Pili, ciao da Cagliari. Someone Italian from the beautiful Sardinia. Ciao Paolo. Lol, AJ, Stephanie. Deanne, I already said I'm not in Prospect Park, although it might look like Prospect Park actually. Stof Awatani, hey teacher, would that be me? Is it a good idea to learn Italian by phrases from English into Italian? Yes, why not? It depends on what exactly you want to learn. If you want to just learn to say some things, to have a very basic conversation, that's totally fine. If you want to be able to talk more properly in Italian, then that could be a beginning, but then you need to learn a little bit more in depth. Okay, guys, I'll give you a hint because George asks to say what borough I'm in or at. It's not in Manhattan. That's already a big hint. Paul McDonough, Battery Park. No, it's for sure not Battery Park. You cannot sit down in the grass in Battery Park. And there would be way more people. Also, right now, Battery Park is pretty much occupied by homeless people. I don't know how many of you know about that. I don't say occupied, but it's like one of those hubs for homeless people to set their, I cannot even say tents, because you cannot set a tent to sleep at night. Texman81, Pelham Bay Park. Nice guess, Texman, nice guess. It could be, but I am not at Pelham Bay Park. It's so funny that nobody of you could guess so far. Time for a Kiss asks, how do New Yorkers treat you when they find out you're from Italy and your accent? Okay, I think I understood the question. Actually, as probably some of you know, my accent is kind of difficult to spot. It's difficult to understand where I'm from my accent. So they first try to guess where I'm from, and they are not able to do so 99% of the times, really. Probably 100% of the times, honestly, because then Italians will say, oh, but of course you have such an Italian accent when you speak English, I could guess immediately, but then you are Italian. So you know how certain details that Italian, show when they speak in English, but I can guarantee you that foreigners, probably nobody has ever guessed that I'm Italian from the way I speak English. The love bugs asks, where are the ducks? I haven't seen ducks so far. George asks, Lottoret Park in Staten Island. I've never been there. It's in the very south of Staten Island, I guess, right? Paul, Brooklyn Bridge Park. No. Okay, question from Shubhadita Chakraborty from India, I guess, or somewhere in that part of the world. How many languages can you speak? I can speak, I would say 4 languages, even if one is not very fluently, I would say. The languages are, my mother language is Italian, then obviously English, and then I can speak German fluently, and then I can speak my regional language, which is Friulan, and unfortunately, despite all the efforts of my parents to talk to me in Friulan when I was a kid, I went to school at a certain point, and in school many parents wouldn't like their kids to learn Friulan because it was considered something not fancy to speak Friulan. Like Italian was the fancy language to speak back in the days. I hope nowadays we are going back to our regional roots, but yeah, I started speaking full-time Italian, so I never really learned my regional language that well. This said, in my family, especially in the larger family, there is a lot of Friulan that has been spoken. So every time we gather together for Christmas, for Easter, for a birthday or anything, there are a lot of people speaking Friulan, and despite the fact that I keep answering in Italian, I hear Friulan all the time, and I could in theory speak Friulan, but I'm not very fluent when I speak it. Shubhadita Chakraborty asked me if I can pronounce his name or her name. I don't understand if it's a male or a female. Well, you tell me if I can or not. Roma Czech 75. Hey, I just found your channel via Hirby Bar and subbed earlier this morning. Welcome to the channel. What a treat to have a live stream now. Well, I'm glad we can meet each other so early. Guys, he's talking about a collab that I made with with John Barr from the channel Hirby Bar a couple of weeks ago, I think. It was a pizza video. We went to Brooklyn to try pizza places like New York style, but they were more Italian places than the one that you would typically find in Manhattan, and I had so much fun that day. And I think John made a great job at editing that video. I really love the style, so please check it out. Hirby Bar is the channel. George Atlas Air, hello from Ministro Pistarini International Airport, Buenos Aires. Maybe Parque Centenario over here? You mean over there? Because I don't think you're talking about, are you guessing the part that I mean or not? Mike Ryder, the breeze looks like it feels good. It actually does. I was really sweating and suffering the heat earlier when I was coming here by bicycle, but right now in the shade with this little breeze, with these trees that are around me, I feel so nice and happy. George is going crazy. George Froll, I think he's a New Yorker. He's trying to guess the park, he cannot. Sabine, ciao dall'Alto Adige, hello there. Alto Adige is a beautiful part of the northern Italy. on the Alps, on the mountains. George, Flushing Meadows, Queens. He's trying to guess the park. No. No, no, no. Brian F, Astoria Park. Someone asked it already. No, I'm not at Astoria Park. Am I playing Guess the Park? Ask Toilet Brush Salesman. Yes. Toilet Brush Salesman has the best username in the entire YouTube, I think. No, guys, I am reading. I'm not reading out loud because there are too many comments, but nobody has guessed so far. Get Styler. Grüße aus Deutschland. Someone from Germany asks, do you feel alone in New York City? Well, I live with my husband, so in theory I'm never alone. Even during the quarantine I was living with him. I would say I really miss my close friends because I don't have any close friends here. And so I would say that sometimes I feel alone in the meaning that I miss that kind of deep conversation about yourself and about people that you've been knowing for the entire life. In that sense, I feel alone. But other than that, I'm not really alone here. Carl Williams. Okay, super chat from Carl Williams. Thank you so much for your $5. Mark asks, kannst du auch Deutsch lesen oder nur sprechen? Lesen, sorry. Ich kann Deutsch lesen. Ich lese Deutsch gerade jetzt. Daniel Cooper asks, have you been to the UK? Yes, I have, but only in London, I think, which is a real pity. I would love to go to explore more isolated areas. I've been to London a few times. Auke asks, what is the temperature? I would say it's probably about 30 humid. So it feels like 35. G-Man asks, where is hotter in summer, New York City or your hometown in Italy? My hometown in Italy is in the very north. So if you go to the south of Italy, it's hotter, but New York City is way hotter in the summer. In New York, it's way more humid, which really sucks because it's terrible, but also the temperatures are higher, which I like very much because I actually suffered the cold a lot. And even in the summer, for example, in my hometown, one thing that is really annoying for me is that in the summer, when I go out in the evening, I have to bring a jacket with me. Except maybe 5 days a summer, I'm gonna have to wear something long and thick in the evening. Water. So many comments. Guys, I need to learn how to read the comments and do stuff at the same time, because now I want to... Okay, let me do something. I'm gonna take you for a walk around here so I don't have to pick up all my stuff. I'm gonna leave my stuff here. But it means that I cannot go very far. Too far. Do I trust leaving my stuff here? I hope so. I mean, the most expensive stuff that I have it in my hand, which is the camera and microphone and tripod. Such a beautiful day today. Look at this. How is the weather where you are? I'm curious. Himanshu Vyas, I don't know how to read it, is asking, is Friuli or your hometown in the hills / mountains? Friuli is, look, Friuli is a very small region, like extension wise is really, it's so small. We are 3 million inhabitants. And the cool thing is that it has everything. So it starts in the north on the Alps. So we have these not super high Alps like in other parts, but they are like decent. We arrived to between 2,000 and 3,000 meters, let's say, of altitude. And then you go, the more you go south, the lower you go. You have the pre-Alps, which is a beautiful mountainous part, which is not too rocky. It's more like thick forests. And then you arrive to an area of hills. And that is where my hometown is, which is the most beautiful one in my opinion, but I am biased because I grew up there. And then you have a big flat land, which is very fertile land. So it's a lot of fields and agriculture. And then you arrive to the coast. So we come from the mountains, we have all the middle sections, and then you arrive to the seaside. We have beautiful beaches. We have both sand beaches.
Wait, I got a photobomb, wait!
Photobomb! Your live stream! Say hi!
Hello!
They were having fun. Yeah, so we have everything in Friuli. Guys, what do you say? So I'm here in front of a lake. I don't see anyone guessing. Okay, Paul says Jackie Onassis Reservoir, which I don't know where it is, so it's not where I am. Stephanie, I'm not in Central Park or Brooklyn Bridge Park. No, and Stephanie, I gave a hint that I'm not anywhere in Manhattan. So I'm in one other of the 4 boroughs. Pelham Bay, no, already guessed, no Prospect Park, no Pelham Bay. Guys, I cannot believe that you cannot recognize this. It's my very first time here, so I cannot say that it's such a recognizable place because I don't know if it is or not. But now I'm gonna go, oh, wait. This part of the lake is very characteristic here. Let me flip the camera. What do you say, New Yorkers? It's not Prospect Park. Kyle, goodbye. Talk to you soon. Daryl, the High Line. No, the High Line is in Manhattan. I said I'm not in Manhattan. Not Van Cortlandt, not Prospect Park. Harris Park, no. Highland Park, no. Okay. I will. This is, sorry, but it's so funny that you keep trying and nobody is able to guess. I'm gonna start walking now. I'm gonna take my stuff, start walking to other parts of the park. How is the audio, by the way? Do you feel the microphone clicking when I move? Toilet brush salesman! Yes! You You guessed right. No, wait. The first one was, sorry, the first one was George Atlas Air, which I don't know who he is. Silver Lake Park. Is he the first one who guessed? Guys, I'm in Silver Lake Park, Staten Island. I can't believe nobody guessed, especially after the vlog that I published the other day that was in Staten Island. Guys, I really hope that I'm no clicks Sauke, thank you for the feedback. I really hope that I'm kind of promoting the visits to this borough, because it's really not touristy at all, and I don't understand why. I mean, I understand if time for a kiss. Thank you for the super chat. Top 3 places in the world with best smelling air. I'm gonna come to you in a moment. I was saying that Staten Island is not a touristy borough at all, and I could understand if it's not touristy for people come to New York for the first time, because yeah, if you come to New York for the first time, you wanna go to the big touristy spot in Manhattan mainly. But if you're not a first timer, why not? I don't see a reason why not coming here. There are such beautiful parks, especially, but also the architectures, I must say, they are very interesting. And it's the only borough where there are older architectures. I mean, not only the big monuments, but also the houses and the smaller architectures have that old charm that probably you guys feel when you visit Europe. The charm that I don't see here is the charm that comes from, you know, yeah, from older buildings, from things that have been there for so long that they, you know, they are older than all the people that you know that are alive in this moment. That's such a fascinating thing. I mean, I give it for granted when I'm back in Europe, but then I came here and I see big areas like in Manhattan, for example, where in certain blocks they have been all built in the past 70, 80 years. There's nothing wrong with that, of course, but they lack charm, I guess. They have the charm of newer buildings, but it's not the same. So let's go back to time for a kiss question. The top 3 places in the world with best smelling air. That's a funny question. I like it. Obviously, best places that I know of, I would say right now, because my world is so limited to the area of New York City, I say Staten Island, because as I arrived with the ferry here and I was still in the very urbanized area, which is the one around the ferry station in Staten Island, I smelled the air and I felt it was so good smelling. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a thing or it was just my distorted perception of the moment. Then second place, I would say you know, I've been to Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and I remember the air being very fresh and clear and clean. So I would say that. And then, I mean, first place, do you think I'm not gonna say the Alps? Of course it's the Alps. The Alps, at least in my area, have the best smell of all the smells. They smell like nothing, like water. The best water is the one that smells like nothing. By the way, I'm gonna flip the camera so I show you where I'm going. So, who has started watching this live stream right now? There was a bet going on for the first half an hour, and people were trying to guess where I was, because I just said I'm in a park in New York City, and then nobody was able to guess, so I gave a hint, and the hint was I'm not in Manhattan. And yet nobody was able to guess for quite a while. Even if there was a lake, I was in a green area with the central lake of the park, so I thought someone would guess very quickly, but no. And then someone made it. I'm in Staten Island, in Silver Lake Park. So this is the upper part of the park. It's less nice than where I was earlier, because there are, see, all these structures that you can see, the condos. Let me see, I'm reading your comments, guys. Stefano, how tall are you? I'm 183 centimeters. Grandissimo 97, grazie. I tuoi video sono sempre una gioia da vedere. Rendi fieri noi italiani, grandissimo complimento, grazie. Lusingata di riceverlo. Giorga 2004, sorry, 2004. How do you get your mic to sound so good with just phone? Well, I have an external microphone. That's the trick. Prush, okay. Oh my God. Prussian revivalist. New York will never recover, it's done. Need to flip the camera because we need to talk about it for a moment. But my fellow New York YouTubers are already talking about it a lot, about this. They are, and they will, because there is someone here in New York who is planning to make a video about this as well, which I am going to collaborate as well. Because there is this, there has been an article written by a comedian, I would say 3 weeks ago probably, that went viral. And this article was titled in such a clickbaity way. It was something like, New York is dead and will never recover, something like that. And the whole article was taking examples of how New York has been recovering in the past crises, the Spanish flu, the Great Depression, and so on. But this time with COVID-19 will not recover because it's different. Sorry, but that felt very much like, I'm not gonna articulate my opinion on this that much because there is a collaboration that's gonna happen in a couple of weeks with another New York YouTuber with a video dedicated specifically on about this topic, if New York is dead, and I'm gonna collaborate there, so I'm gonna give a more articulate answer, more articulate opinion about this. But my opinion is that that article was either written by a very desperate and nihilistic person, or it was a very clever social media person, because the title was very clickbaity and it was very easy to fall into the argumentation of the article. Wait, I got super chats. Oh my god, thank you guys. Daniel Cooper, have a great day. Thank you so much, Daniel, for the super chat. You have a great day too. And Smoldering Sheep, another super chat. Such a great yet simple and enjoyable live stream. Thank you. Well, I'm glad it's enjoyable because it is certainly very simple. I'm still trying to understand what's my role in the live stream area of YouTube, because now I'm showing you the, the landscape. Probably I should flip the camera. Yeah, actually, if any of you have any suggestion for my live streams, any feedback, any critiques, please text me, because I am trying to figure out how to do these live streams. It's kind of strange to just talk to a camera without a script and without really having a precise topic about that the video is about. So please let me know which parts are boring, which parts are more interesting. Now, for example, I'm walking, I'm holding an apple, I'm holding the tripod with the other hand. How can I read the chat? I'm gonna stop for a second, put you down, read some questions. Milan Petrovic. I cannot yell here because there are people enjoying the quietness. Milan Petrovic, a big super chat. Looks like great weather. Stay healthy and happy. Thank you, Milan. Milan from Vancouver. I hope it's great weather too and you are healthy and happy too. Time for a kiss. Thanks for the super chat. Top 3 country cities with best food and favorite dishes. I could answer to that. So, top 3 countries or cities with best food and what are the favorite dishes. Okay. So, of the places that I know, obviously, obviously, for live streams, you cannot really think about the answer and do a proper list. So I'm just gonna go with the first 3 that come to my mind. They're obviously probably not the best 3 in the world, but whatever. I would say Ratece, Slovenia. Ratece is this super tiny little village. I bet you are all Googling it now in an extra tab in your browser. I hope you are. It's something not really touristy. Already Slovenia is not a super touristy country. Ratece is really just the village on the other side of the Italian border with Slovenia, in the area of Tarvisio. It's the biggest city of the area. And I probably, the very last time that I ate there, because I've been eating there since I was a kid, but the very last time that I ate there, I had such a memorable meal. I was with my boyfriend, which is now is my husband, and it was last summer, exactly 1 year ago actually, it was last September, and we had, I remember, a mushroom soup as first course, and it was honestly the best mushroom soup, not only that I've ever had, but that I could ever imagine. And then we've had the tartare as second course, and it was such a big, huge plate, by the way, but it was definitely the best tartare I've ever had. Sometimes in fancy restaurants you can have very good tartare, but they are so small that they finish before you can actually even enjoy it, if you know what I mean. So it's kind of weird. So ratece. And then I would say, it's hard. I will say Sicily, just because during the summer I've had Sicily in my mind a lot, because I was supposed to go there in March. Then the pandemic hit, so I stayed in New York City instead of going to Sicily. I've been to Sicily 2 or 3 times, and it's such a, I know that many Italian Americans here are originally Sicilian, by the way, and I want to really encourage you to go visit your home region, your ancestors' hometown or something, because Sicily is such an amazing territory and amazing people as well. I mean, look, I cannot even describe you in words how amazing that island is. Already the fact that it's an island, it's already, you know, a parallel universe. But the food, since we're talking about the food, is great there, and especially maybe I could mention one thing that I really love is the sfincione. Sfincione is a sort of a snack. Internationally, you would call it street food, probably. Sfincione is, you can imagine it as a sort of focaccia. So it's a thick bread cut in squares that has onions and tomatoes on top. It's mainly onions. At least for me, the best flavor of this sfincione is the one from the onions. And it's something, again, so simple, and yet it's, I still remember the first time I bit into my first piece of sfincione. I still remember the sensation of that bite. Oh my God, guys, a flavor I had never tasted before. It was so delicious. Small break, because I arrived to the central area of the park. Look, it's such a beautiful day today. Are you guys feeling a lot of wind from the microphone? This is the little lake. Okay. Third place, quickly, because I got other super chats. Emilia Romagna, like the whole region, best food in Italy for me, in my opinion. It's a very fat and meaty kind of cuisine, but it's just so delicious. It's the cuisine of the feasts. You know, it's that kind of dishes that you would make on Sunday when you do a big lunch with your whole family. So it's not like light veggie everyday food, which you could find maybe more, I'm thinking about Tuscany dishes or Sicilian dishes as well, why not? In Emilia-Romagna, they are big with ragu, for example. Ragu alla bolognese, that's Emilia-Romagna. Lasagna alla bolognese, that's Emilia-Romagna. Tortellini in brodo, tortellini with broth. I passatelli, oh my god, the passatelli. They are not famous abroad, I don't know why. They are such an amazing dish. All these things. Okay, that's enough. I talk too much. If you ask me one question, I can talk forever about that topic. If someone connected right now with this live stream, we've been doing a small bet in the first half an hour of this live stream because I didn't tell immediately where I was, and I let people guess which park this is in New York City. I gave the hint that it's not in Manhattan, but it took a while for people to guess that I'm in Staten Island in Silver Lake Park. Now let me see 1 second because I have other super chats. Okay, Roma Check 75. Thank you so much for the 20 bucks. Thank you. I moved here, I'm reading his comment. I moved here to New York City from Detroit 20 years ago to the date. To the date, it means 20 years ago today. If that's the case, congratulations, that's a big day for you. Labor Day 2000. Oh my God, I'm such a bad visitor to the United States. Is it Labor Day today? If so, I'm sorry, I kind of missed it. Happy Labor Day to every American then, I guess. Here's to 20 more, and so glad to celebrate with this live stream. So excited I discovered this channel. Oh my God, I am so happy that you discovered this channel and you are celebrating with us your 20 years in New York City. So it's to the date, like from today. That's amazing. Wow, congratulations. By the way, Detroit is also a city that I would like to visit, but I'm happy you are enjoying staying in your city now. Rachel Grace Friend, thank you. One of my patrons, I guess. Is it Rachel Friend from Patreon? With 5 bucks. Thank you so much. One of my patrons from last month, new patron. Oh, you commented already also. I love the tours you take us on, and I share them with my 87-year-old Italian American mom from Jackson. Okay. Sorry guys, I miss my family. Rachel, I'm so happy you told me that you shared them with your 87-year-old Italian American mom from Jackson Heights, Queens. That's really nice to hear. I appreciate that. Judith, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being always here. And I am enjoying my day in Staten Island. Thank you. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know why I got so emotional. I was thinking about my grandma this morning. Okay, that's odd. I'm sorry, guys. Let me put you down 1 second. Taxman 81, another super chat. Thank you. I found recently my grandmother came from Guardia Regia. Have you ever been to that town? No, I've never heard about Guardia Regia before, honestly. Do you know where, in what region is it? And James is asking if I'm from Emilia Romagna. No, I was just talking about my favorite food. I'm from the region of Friuli in the northeast of Italy. Okay, guys, let me cool down 1 second. Okay, let me get back to the chat. Stephanie, Stephanie, you're so sweet. If you want to stop the live stream, please do. We understand. That's fine. As Himanshu wrote, I cry upon hearing some music or upon remembering some memories or family also. It's only human. And it's good to be in touch with one's emotion. Hugs. Thank you. Yeah, I guess it's only normal. I miss my family, plus I'm on my period, which is probably too much information for a lot of people, but this is something every woman goes through every month. We are for 5 days a month, weak, physically weak, mentally weak, and emotionally unstable. And I guess that's why I got so emotional today. It's simply hormones. That's why I have all these pimples on my face these days. That's fine. Okay, let's go on. Cool shirt, M.A. Lopez. Thank you. I like it too. It's not big meaning, but it's very comfortable. That's why I use it. I've had it for 15 years probably. Don Vito Caccioferro, are you from near Venice? Yeah, I'm not super close to Venice. Venice is in the region of Veneto in Italy. But yeah, in less than 2 hours by car, I'm in Venice Island. 1.5 hours, probably. 1.5 hours, yeah. No, I'm not pregnant. I don't know who wrote that. It's not a joke that is appreciated. I'm really not. Smile, guys.
It's a vlog.
No, it's a live stream.
Oh, wow.
Are you from Staten Island?
Yes.
From here?
Yes.
Cool place. It's a cool place to grow up, guys.
Yeah.
Be grateful.
How's your apple?
It's great. It's nice and sour. nice kids. Johnny Crash, stay strong, it will get better. Thank you, Johnny. Thanks for the super chat as well. Someone is asking what park this is. Again, if you have just connected, this is a park in Staten Island, which not many people were able to recognize earlier in this live stream. And I'm in the middle of it, and it's called Silver Lake Park. And it's the very first time I'm here, so I don't even know where I'm going, honestly. I'm just strolling around with you guys. Someone asks if my husband is Italian. No, he is not. My husband is half Turkish, half American. I like that you start to answer to the comments in the chat among you people. I like it. Time for a kiss. Another question, another super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Oh my god, top 3 places you've seen autumn colors. You're doing great. Well, I love this question because I love autumn. It's probably my favorite season, and especially for the colors. I am, for some reason, very sensitive to colors. Well, I guess I ended up on the street here. Whatever, I will continue here. We're having a chat anyways, and it's a nice place anyway. So, top 3. Well, for sure, Ontario, Canada. I was there in my first year as a digital nomad, and it was October 2018, the whole month from the 1st to the 30th or 31st of October, I was there. I don't know how many days October has. I haven't made any vlog, unfortunately, because I was still in the first year of my channel where I was trying to gather subscribers. So I was trying to do less of these vlogs and more of like sort of clickbaity videos. I don't know, I was trying to figure out how to grow a YouTube channel. So I have 0 videos about that month in Ontario, which is a pity. No, actually I have 2 videos in Toronto from the very first days there, with my friend Renee, who was my host on Couchsurfing. We are still friends. I love her. So that was definitely one of the best places I've ever seen the foliage, the autumn foliage. It was amazing. And I actually went there in autumn because I was expecting that. So I had big expectations, which is always tricky. But I came out more than satisfied, really. It was so beautiful. And then another amazing place is Val Resia in Friuli, which is a place 50 minutes car from my hometown. It's also in my region. And funny enough, it's a very isolated valley where not even us freelance know it very well, because it's very isolated. Like, there are villages there that are so old and so abandoned as well. They are very small, and yet there are like 10 people living there, over 100 houses, let's say, because they have been abandoned because it's very hard to get there. I mean, it's 50 minutes of driving slowly, let's say. And funny enough, last year, when I was for a couple of months staying with my family in autumn, you can go check out the vlogs, I went for a couple of times in this valley, Val Resia it's called, with friends, just to, and it was probably my first time going there in the autumn, and I had no idea that the colors would have been so incredible. And you can actually check out one vlog that I made there. It was unfortunately a very rainy day, but we went for a hike anyways. And let me see, how is it called? I'm gonna put the link in the description after I finish the live stream. I don't remember the title that I put to that vlog. Whatever, I also republished it months later in HD, because the first time I published it, it was not in HD, so it's a little bit of a mess. I'm gonna put the link in the description, so the next days, if you want, you can go check it out. I listed 2 places, but I think they might be enough. I could add as a 3rd place, since you asked, New York City. And it's honestly probably in my top 3 for places where to enjoy the autumn. This city, and I would say especially Manhattan, but all the boroughs, in the autumn, and I've been here twice during the autumn, I mean 2 years during the autumn, so I know what I'm talking about. It's so amazing. And I came to the conclusion that aside of the type of plants that they put here, or that grow here naturally, that turn in very beautiful colors in the autumn, there are also, I think it's the contrast and the consonance, I don't know if it's a word in English, with colors of urban structures. I'm talking about, for example, yellow is definitely one of the most prominent colors of the foliage in the autumn, right? Especially of the trees that you can find here. Well, look at this road. What colors are the lines? Yellow, and this is not even bright yellow, it's orange yellow, so it's autumn yellow. I can see a sign, one of those signs with the pole. Very often here they are yellow. Same yellow that you find there. Think about the iconic New York City taxi. The cabs are yellow in Manhattan. So yeah, I was talking exactly about these signs there. No, I'm too far. Well, in a few there is a sign, so who is not American can understand. So there is this consonance between the foliage on the trees, on the streets, and these human elements. Plus, there is also a beautiful contrast, because, again, yellow is the predominant color in the trees, and what is the complementary color of yellow? Let's say bluish, grayish, purplish, which is exactly the color of the streets and the buildings in Manhattan. Especially I love these hyper-modern buildings made of glass and steel, which are really blue, gray, light blue. And when they have some trees in front of them that are super bright yellow, oh my God, it's like the best thing ever. Look at the signs. I don't know what type of sign is this, but they are very often yellow here. Someone says, Himanshu says yellow ochre. Yeah, it's sort of yellow ochre, you are right. Alpha Gabriel says in Italian, poi vai a Udine, non c'è niente, which in English would be, and then you go to Udine, which is sort of my hometown, and there is nothing. And Gabriel, I don't remember your name, please don't say that, because I've lived and spit on Udine for 20 years. I thought it was the most boring place in the world. I wanted to escape I thought Friuli was such a boring, non-stimulating place. And my dream back in the days was to go to live in a big city somewhere. I would have never thought that 10 years after, I would have ended up getting married and living in New York City. Even less in Manhattan, which is the center of New York City, so this is kind of crazy. But I understood that we really don't know what richness we have. Like you really need to travel to go out of your place to understand what you have there and it's missing everywhere else. Because you give so many things for granted, and then you go in other parts of the world and you discover that they don't even have those things that you were given for granted. Let me check my microphone. Okay. You can still hear me fine, right? Sorry, I wasn't looking at the chat for a while, so I don't know if you were complaining about something or not. Don Vito asked when I did get married. It was in June. Torno a vivere in America blog asks, conosci la canzone Torna a Udine di Ruggero dei Timidi? He's asking if I know a song about our hometown. No, I don't. Yeah, Alpha Gabriel keeps saying that he agrees with me, but he still hates Friuli. Well, what can I tell you? You need to travel around more, maybe. Or maybe you just don't like it, I don't know. But I can find beauty in every place I go. Stefano Repetti is asking me what are my thoughts about Parco Sempione, which is a park. It's the biggest park in Milan city center, I guess. It's fine. I don't know. I don't know what to say about Parco Sempione. It's nothing special, really. I think New York City parks, for example, although the city is way more packed and dense than Italian cities, are way better than the city parks that we have in Italy, usually. They're like our city parks in Italy are more about grass rather than trees and water. So we usually use them more for concerts and festivals, stuff like that. I guess here they are bigger too. So they both have space for trees, but also for concerts and festival. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Grüß dich, Frau Prote. Grüß dich, Erasmo. Someone really cool has just entered the chat and is following this live stream, which makes me so happy. Sabine asks, can you make some examples of what you're missing which isn't present in Manhattan? Yes, of course. It's very easy. Where should I start? First of all is the quietness. And by that I mean the silence that you can find in other places, which is hard to find in other big cities, of course. Like, this is something that is common to all big cities, and I must say that the thing that I miss the most is not being in a big city at the moment, because I need my places where I cannot hear anything else but the sound of the wind and the leaves of the trees and some insects here and there, which is honestly what almost is happening right here in this park, which is, yeah, I'm just realizing it now. I mean, there is a big street up here and you can hear some cars honking, but it's still pretty nice. I'm gonna sit down again, by the way. So yeah, the quietness, the stillness, the lack of human noises. That's what I miss the most, probably. Wow. Look at this. This is nice. Yeah, and I miss being in places where there is nobody else, like you are the only human alive for, you know, a big area. That's pretty hard in Manhattan. But I might say that there are areas, for example, in Wood Hill Park that I recently got to know that are pretty wild. Like there are not many people around. Sorry, technical waiting time. Sorry for the framing. You are seeing weird part of my body. Okay, I'm trying to set you up in a good framing. Good. Other things that I cannot find in Manhattan, the food. Food is always, if you go back to my videos last year where I was listing, for example, I made one video about things that I missed about Italy after being in New York for 4 months in the summer. Food was the first one, and it still is, although this year I am sorry, oh my god, that was embarrassing. I let you fall. I hope it's not gonna happen. Yeah, so food, which is kind of weird because New York is the capital world capital probably of food, of restaurants, but to be honest, if you go to any small village in the rest of the world, probably, I don't know if the rest of the world, but I can speak for Europe because I've visited many places in Europe. If you go to any small village with a family-driven restaurant where you can eat for $5-10 bucks, they have better food than 99% of the restaurant of Manhattan. Yeah, and the difference is that here you pay $30 for a meal. Well, for a small meal. You pay at least $50 for a meal. I have 150 people watching, so I think I'm not being that boring, but I am sometimes I start to do these monologues. I don't know if it's fine for you, if it's boring, if it's... Maybe I should check out keep an eye on the chat a little bit more. G-Man asks, on the scale of 1 to 10, how tasty is that apple you're eating? Apples are one type of produce that is really good here, luckily. So this apple is very, very good. Yeah, and I paid it less than $1 at my favorite street vendor on First Avenue, which is a great price for Manhattan, because usually you pay apples $1 or more. I hope you're not gonna fall, because I'm keeping the phone on a tripod. I'm so bad at these kind of logistic things. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, not the best light. I'm gonna change. At least you can enjoy the light that brightens up the background here. So wait, there was another super chat from Time for Kiss. Thank you. Top 3 wine regions or grapes? That's a tricky one, because I don't really know that many wine regions or wine areas, because I come from a wine region and I usually drink the wine from my region and I usually drink the very cheap one as well. So where I come from, you get a glass of wine. I must say it's less quantity than a glass of wine that you get here, for example. Here they give you like the equivalent of probably 1.5 to 2 glasses of wine that you get where I come from. But where I come from, it costs €1. Sometimes even less in more remote areas. And it's not the best wine in the world, maybe. Those ones you pay 2, 3, 4, 5 euros a glass, but it's full of life. It's a wonderful wine because it's full of life. It reminds me of home. I don't know. Don't ask me about wine regions. I don't know. But I can tell you of the wines from Italy, which are the only ones that I know. Like if you ask me wine from France, I don't know it. I never drink wine from France. In Italy, probably my favorite region for wines, taking away my region because otherwise I would be biased, it's Piedmont. Piedmont is the region of Turin, if anyone is more familiar with that city. It's in the northwest. So I come from the northeast, that one is on the northwest, and it shares the border with France and Switzerland. Just some geography for you to understand better. Their wines, I think they are definitely my favorite. I mean, in Veneto, they also have amazing wines, but they are more similar to the ones of my region, Friuli, but I don't know, I think they are less good. But again, it's just for me because I'm used to the Friulan wines. They are probably better than the Friulan ones, like on an objective scale, if an objective scale exists. Okay, you asked me so many questions and I didn't read anything. A few people are saying it's not boring that I do these monologues. Okay, thanks for letting me know. People are talking about frico on the chat. What? It's a dish from my region. David, TB Design Visual Media. Hello. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. I am in Staten Island. Auke asks, where is my bike? My bike is, I locked it like there somewhere near the lake. I hope there are no park guards that are gonna, bother my bicycle, because I locked it at the fence of the lake, because I looked around and there are no bike racks. So I didn't know where to lock it. I hope it's fine. Someone mentions the wine Chianti from Toscana. I guess you're talking about wine. Chianti is the most famous wine for foreigners, but it's an amazing Tuscan wine. Don't get me wrong, it's an amazing wine, but it's not really like, we have so many other amazing wines in Italy that I don't understand why that one is so famous. I think it's because probably Tuscany is very smart at marketing their products and their region. They have certainly some of the most beautiful landscapes that you can find in Italy, but you go to Umbria, for example, a region where no tourist goes. Even Italian tourists don't go there that much, and you have as beautiful landscapes, if not more beautiful. Just to make one example. Smith Calcani, Italian Amalfi Coast. Yes, another very touristy Italian place. That one I can understand more because it's very unique, although you have places similar where the mountains arrive directly into the seaside. Amalfi is a very unique place, but it's been so much inflated by the international tourism in the last, I would say, 5 years, that this mass tourism, which is very often an Instagram tourism, influencer tourism, is really ruining that area, I think. And I don't have friends or relatives there, so I might be wrong, but from what I know, some people there are thriving because they own Airbnbs, so they became super rich. But many other locals, they are struggling now because the prices went so much higher because of tourism, that they're not able to afford certain things anymore, which is a pity. It's such a pity. That's why when I used to be a travel vlogger, I used to try to promote as much as possible places that are not touristy, because there is space for every tourist in this world if we distribute the tourists better. But if we all go in the same 5 places on this planet, we screw up that place. Look at Venice, for example. Oh my God, now I open the chapter Venice. I don't know if you are getting bored of me just rambling about these things. But Venice is the perfect example of how the massified international tourism has completely destroyed a city. A city not meant as a bunch of architecture put together. The city as that social network that creates the city. Like, humans, locals, don't live in Venice anymore because it's too expensive for them. People who have lived for generations in Venice, their parents and grandparents have always lived in Venice, in the island of Venice. They had their job there, maybe they had their small business there, not related to tourism, and now they have to move away. They have to move to other areas in Italy because they cannot afford their rent anymore. And why is the rent so high? Because there are so many international tourists that are, that they can pay the same amount that a family pays in 1 month for 3 days or Airbnb. So that's the problem with mass tourism. Sabine says she agrees. In Alto Adige, another region in Italy, we have The same problem with all those Instagrammers coming just to take a picture in those 2-3 places, and now they are overrun. Yes, it's exactly what I meant. Instagram is a great social media, opened so many new opportunities, but it's not a social media that I appreciate that much because it's very quick. It's too quick. It's that it gives you that easy answers, easy solutions, easy destinations to go for your holidays. That, guys, if something is too easy, very often it's not valuable. Yeah, we should do something about this problem with tourism, because tourism has been reduced in the last few years to go into some place because you have seen pictures on Instagram that look gorgeous, but very often they are just very well edited. Let's be real about that. And then you go there, take a few pictures, have fun with your friends, and then go back home after 2 days. What about actually getting to know the place, which means also getting to know the people? What are their traditions? What are their favorite restaurants, not the tourist favorite restaurants? What are the locals' favorite restaurants? What are the favorite activities to do? You know? Molten Butter asks, what's my education? Just curious. My education is mainly philosophy. So at university I studied philosophy, both for my bachelor and for my master. But in high school I attended a scientific liceo scientifico, we call it in Italian. So it's a sort of a scientific school, science oriented. But we still study Latin, we study philosophy, we study, that's pretty much it. History, literature. We don't study ancient Greek, which is what they study in the other type of school. Let me see. Kay LeBlanc. Hello, Mary Jane. Hello, Kay LeBlanc. Traveling can make you see the world from a new perspective. Definitely, it does. It not just can, it does. What would you say America made you see differently? An eye-opening experience? Wow, good question. Okay, I will answer with the last detail. The last thing that I noticed that is something new for me here, which is something I've been thinking about a lot in the last, I would say, 1 to 2 weeks. The space. I just realized how much space there is here. And I realized it, I'm not so naive that I've never looked at the map. I've looked at so many maps of United States, and I know that there is a lot of land here. But I've had this experience about 2 weeks ago. A friend of my husband, flies airplane. Like, he shares a little private airplane with a group of people. He learned to fly years ago, and he took us for a flight. And so we spent like about 2 hours flying above New Jersey and New York City. Amazing experience. I would have liked to vlog, but I didn't want to be intrusive towards this friend that was so nice to take us for a flight already. I didn't want to stay the entire time with the camera and stuff. I also don't know if it's comfortable with that. Anyway, I just saw how this area is distributed from above in terms of forests, fields, urbanized areas, and everything else. And I was able to look with my eyes down and see how many wild land there is. There are so many forests here that we in Europe can only dream about. If you fly over Europe, you can see that you have either mountains, sea, a lot of sea, of course. Then you have I mean, really, the rest is either fields or houses. There's not much space for anything else. You have places with small forests, but I was literally flying above one of the most densely populated area in the East Coast, at least, probably in the whole North America. And there was just so much land that is just free for people to use. And I really understood how the perception of natural resources is different here. I think for us in Europe it's kind of easier to be environmentalists, for example. Whereas here, I'm not justifying them, but they just have so much land at so much disposable land for their use. It was crazy for me. It was just crazy. Let's read something else. I'm sorry, I keep going with these monologues. Judith is going. Goodbye, Judith. It was so nice to have you here. Don Vito Cascioferro, what no ancient Greek? Here in the UK, I studied classics in high school. Yeah, so in Italy, you study ancient Greek if you do the classic kind of school, high school, whereas if you do the scientific high school, which is the one that I did, you don't have that. You don't have ancient Greek. I studied ancient Greek though in university, so I know some of it because I studied philosophy, and it's kind of fundamental if you study philosophy to know a little bit of ancient Greek. Oh my god, I'm getting a bit overwhelmed by the amount of questions. Okay, wait, the super chat. Super chat helps me to to select some comments. Henry Chang, hello! I remember you, Henry Chang. I mean, I remember our exchange of emails. First of all, tanta felicità, thank you. What kind of character trait that you don't possess do you find attractive in others? Wow, such a good question. I like it. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Let me think about this trait. Ow. There are several, I would say. I would say, okay, yeah, one thing is people who are easygoing, in a sense that they just don't think too much before doing things. Like, I am a kind of person who has to think about every little detail, and before doing something or making a decision, I imagine in my head what would happen if I made that decision or if I made the other one. And I'm super cautious, and yeah, it's a nice characteristic, I guess, but it's also sometimes very annoying. So I appreciate those people who can just not overthink too much about things and just go for them. Yeah, I don't know how that would be called. Then, what I think, I'll switch the camera. It's so beautiful here. Bye bye, Judith. I'll hear from you on Patreon. toilet brush salesman says spontaneity. It could be. But it's a certain nuance of spontaneity. For example, I can be spontaneous in many things. And just to make an example that I was thinking about these last few days, I don't know why, I was thinking about how, okay, premise, I love Germans. I love Germany, I love the German way of thinking, the way of doing things. I lived in Germany for a year and I absolutely love them. But there is one thing that it's a real pity I don't like about Germans. It's the fact that they have to plan their social interactions. You cannot be spontaneous in Germany. You cannot just go to your friend's house. I don't even say go to your friend's house. If you text your friend, hey, shall we meet later, like in 2-3 hours for a drink when we finish work, let's say, that for them is crazy and probably even annoying, because they have everything already planned for that day. And if you want to meet them, you have to ask them with several days in advance. So, about spontaneity, that is very not spontaneous, and I'm very spontaneous in that case. I love going to friends and doing things last minute. Just as in my travels, for example. In my travels, I'm extremely spontaneous. I don't plan literally anything. People keep asking about the park. So just a quick recap for who has just tuned in. I am in Staten Island, not Manhattan, it's not Central Park. This is Silver Lake Park. Thank you, Taxman. And that's it. I'm just chatting, eating an apple. Sometimes I walk around, and welcome to the live stream. Let me think about, and right now, if someone just came to the chat, I'm answering to Henry Chang question, which is what kind of character trait that you don't possess do you find attractive in others? I said this kind of spontaneity first. Sometimes, depending on where I am in the world, I think I would like to be more. I would like to have a stronger sense of humor. But that I said it depends of where I am, because, for example, here in America, I think I don't have a very poor sense of humor, relatively to the standard of the population here. Whereas when I was living in Rome, for example, I was considered a very boring girl from the north. Like in Rome, they are not able to say one sentence that is not a joke or something witty, and I felt always kind of left behind. So I always wish that I would have more sense of humor. Harry, you asked what I find attractive and not just what I don't possess, but I guess these things I find attractive as well. I mean, attractive, you mean in terms of friends or a potential partner? Yeah, I like people like this. Of course, why not? Owen Meyer, sorry, I'm reading random comments now because there are too many. Says, you are a considerate person of others' feelings in your chats. Thank you. I don't know exactly what you mean, but I think it's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad you think that I have that quality. Anna Bulica, or Bulica, I don't know, asks, are you gonna travel again in the future? Well, if I don't die before that kind of future, yes, I'm definitely gonna travel again. I was explaining at the beginning of this live stream, and because I only say this, I only explain this thing in live streams for some reason, I'm gonna repeat it now very quickly. I decided during this pandemic that I would have not taken an airplane unless necessary, because I don't want to give the example to my audience that it's okay to travel for pleasure now. And by travel I mean travel by airplane, because it's totally fine to travel in many other ways, but airplanes are now not a good vehicle to travel with, because they are not, the airline companies are not staying to the rules when it comes to social distancing and all that stuff. So I think the best thing is to fly only if it's necessary for you, if you really have to join your family, if you have to travel for work, or I don't know, for serious reasons. But if you can choose, if you're just going on holiday and you can choose to just travel by train or by car or by bus or by bicycle especially, please travel by bicycle, because it's just better for everyone. So if I were not an influencer, I would probably be in Europe right now. But since if I travel, I show it in my videos, and my videos give the example to many other people, I don't want to take a plane. Time for a kiss. Other super chat. Thank you so much. I love these little questions. Time for a kiss. 3 things you hate about Italy or Europe. Love you. Well, I mean, Italy and Europe are 2 very different things. I'm gonna go for Italy because there are more things that I hate about Italy than Europe. Let's. I've never taken so long to eat an apple, by the way. Come on, Siren, go away. You're hearing this, right? Okay. So first thing that comes to my mind that I hate about Italy is the fact that hard to explain. The first attitude of the people on a standard level is, you cannot do this. This is not possible. Which is like saying that I love about America that they have the opposite attitude. They are always like, yes, you can. Oh, you have this weird dream. Yes, you're gonna make it. In Italy, if you have a weird dream, you don't even talk about it with others because you're afraid that they're gonna... It's not that you're afraid that they're gonna judge you. They are gonna judge you, and they're gonna just discourage you about it. So that's something that I don't like about Italy. Then, another thing I don't like very much about Italy is that people complain a lot. Again, I'm doing comparisons with the United States right now just because I'm living here. So in the United States, people never complain. They are always enthusiastic because they are thinking about their business in a general sense. Like they're just thinking about their things. So yeah, they think about doing their things well. Whereas in Italy, rather than that, you think about what's going wrong in the world around you, so you tend to complain a lot. Which, like, the line between complaining and being critical, how do you say in English? Being critical? No, because being critical is still negative, right? Have a critical mindset, that's what I mean. Like the line between having a critical mindset, which means analyzing what's around you and building a judgment around it and not simply just give it for granted. The line between that and complaining about the things that are around you is very unclear. So I think it's also a beautiful thing about Italy that people have a critical mindset all the time, and that's why they judge things that are around them all the time, which is something that I don't see in America at all. Like in the United States, people don't really have a critical mindset here, which is something that for me is very negative, but I was raised being educated with philosophy, and philosophy is all about critical thinking, so I might be biased. But yes, very often in Italy, that being critical goes too far and goes into complaining, like barely complaining, which I don't like. So those are two things. Let me think about the third one. I'm listing things that I don't like about Italy, by the way. Super random one, just because it's the only one I was thinking about. I could think about now. I don't like. Oh, two ones. Okay, two ones. One is the fact that we have a lot of foreigner movies and culture and shows in Italy, especially Americans, since the 60s, since the the television came and the Marshall Plan. But we have everything translated in Italian, which sucks. And I'm not only talking about the titles of the movies, and I'm not even talking about the subtitles of the movie. I'm talking about the fact that every single movie that you can see in Italy on a standard movie theater or on television is dubbed. Yes. Like you cannot hear the voices of the actors, you hear voices of Italian people who have dubbed the movie, which is terrible. That's why we are so bad in English, by the way. We're not bad, like we know the grammar because we study it in school, but then we are not able to talk English very much. The other thing that I don't like about Italy, see, now I forgot, but you got three. What was it? It was a very random one. Never mind. Don Vito Cascioferro says interfering European Union. Well, I don't know about that. I'm not as well informed about politics to say that, to give a judgment. V7 Avalon asked if the Pope is Italian. No, the Pope, well, he has an Italian name, Francesco. Wait, no, that's always like that. Sorry, delete what I said. No, the Pope is Argentinian right now. Sorry. Rod Equis says same dubs as in Spain. Yeah, Spain also does the same thing. No joke, Italians and Spanish people are the worst English speakers in Europe. So stupid. Lucas Godoy, thoughts on pineapple pizza? No thoughts about it. My mind has no space for it. No, I'm joking. I don't know if there is someone who does the pineapple pizza like in a good way, like good quality pineapple pizza. I've only tried it a couple of times in, one time was at Domino Pizza, I think, which is a terrible chain here in the United States. Another time was at another Canadian chain, I think. It was one night in Toronto. We were drunk as well, so it doesn't really count. But they were always bad quality. They were not good. Like pineapple on pizza it's just the taste didn't combine with the other ingredients. But I'm open to try pineapple pizza in a good quality pizzeria. Like if you know anyone who does good quality pineapple pizza, I'm open to try it. Goodbye, Ralph. I don't know if you want me to say the real name. Sorry. Goodbye. You know who you are. Anderson Costa, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Yeah, funny enough, we have the same say in Italian, so I wonder if it's in all the languages the same one. Una mela al giorno toglie il medico di torno. That's what we say. Una mela al giorno, an apple a day. Yes, Matrix X says we don't synchronize, you mean dub, anything in Croatia, just cartoons for kids. Exactly. So the first time I realized that it was not normal what we were doing in Italy with all these dub movies was probably in Slovenia or Croatia, like which are countries next to mine. I was going there, switch on the television, and you could see English movies, just with the Slovenian or Croatian subtitles. Nanni Allegrini, pineapple pizza is a reato. Reato means like a crime. I wanted to read this comment because I don't really agree with this kind of mentality. This is another one of those Italian things that I don't like. We are a little bit too strict about food, and I am not one of those super open-minded people about food, about Italian food. Like, I have my problems. But at the same time, I recognize that pineapple pizza, for example, it's fine. Pizza is not only an Italian food anymore. They have it all over the world. And especially, for example, I always give this example, the fact that I come from the north of Italy, and apparently pizza in the north of Italy came after it came to New York. Because pizza, I repeat, because every time people are surprised when I say this, pizza is not original from north of Italy. You don't go to Venice and order pizza. They created pizza in Venice for the tourists, for the foreigner tourists, because they expect to come to Italy and eat pizza. Pizza is from Naples. There is an original pizza from Rome too, but in the north of Italy we have other traditional foods, and based on my researches, pizza in the north came through New York. So immigrants, migrants, people who migrated from the north of Italy, from the south, and especially from Naples, went to New York back in the days. We're talking about 1-2 centuries ago, and then pizza became so popular that somehow it came back to north of Italy. That's it. So if someone talks to me about pineapple pizza, who am I for saying that's a crime? It's just a variation. Let's just be objective and try it first. I would like to know how many Italians that criticize pineapple pizza have actually tried pineapple pizza. Try it first, and without being biased. Christian S. You eat polenta in northern Italy. Well said, Christian S. That's what we eat. 18-wheeler. What about spaghetti and meatballs? That's another made-up thing by Italian Americans. That's an Italian American dish, but in Italy you will, I don't say never, because I think maybe in some region, I think someone told me that their Italian grandma back in Italy used to make, I think it's a southern dish. It's called spaghetti con polpettine, something like that. But the meatballs are way smaller, like they are this big. They are not like the big meatballs that you find in America. But in general, in Italy, you don't find spaghetti with meatballs. You find spaghetti al pomodoro with tomato sauce, very classic Italian dish, all over Italy, I would say. Again, imported, because I don't think that my great-grandma used to make spaghetti al pomodoro, honestly. And then you find meatballs with tomato sauce as well, but that's a second course, and it's definitely separate to pasta. Like, they don't go together. Anthony,
I'm Italian, I tried pineapple pizza and I will never try it again. Yuck, lol. Yeah. Me too, I didn't like it. It was terrible. But again, I'm open to try it again only if someone assures me that it's a good quality pineapple pizza, that there is a chef behind it that actually experimented on it and not just threw some exotic fruit on a pizza. Matrix X says, it's funny that old people think that pasta must be with meat. Do they? For me, pasta, it's mainly like vegetable sauce. Like the most common one is the tomato sauce, but then I mainly make it with, I mean, maybe you throw in some little pieces of guanciale, for example, the classics pastas of the center of Italy, like amatriciana, carbonara, gricia. But with meat, yeah, you have the ragù alla bolognese with ground beef, but no, for me, yeah, pasta aglio, olio, peperoncino, Gerardo said. Yeah, exactly, that's the kind of pizza that comes to my mind first. No meat. You know what? I'm realizing that I've been on this live stream for more than 2 hours. Whoa, that's scary. I don't know. Well, I don't care about what time it is, but I don't know how much battery I have. And the phone doesn't show me at the moment. Well, you know that if I disappear at a certain point, it means that the battery is over. The problem is that with these stupid iPhones, the lighting port is already occupied by the microphone, so I cannot put the charging cable in at the same time. David asks, David is one of my patrons, one of my old-timer patrons. Have you had fruit pizza? Well, I said I only had pineapple pizza. Fresh raw fruits on cream cheese with a cookie crust? No, you don't cook the cream, cheese, or fruit. So that's a kind of a cheesecake? Cheesecake with fruits on top? Is that what you mean? I don't know. Audio, your last video about the pandemic and how we have been living was completely spot on. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I think you're talking about my last environment and COVID video, which was very much controversial. Very much. I knew it when I published it that it would have been controversial, but I like that. It was, for who knows what I'm talking about, that video, which is titled Why COVID-19 Happened, I think is the title of the video. I pushed a little bit there because I wanted to provoke a reaction. There it is, 20% battery remaining, okay. So I was pushing my judgment, let's say my thesis a little bit, because I wanted a reaction. So I was provoking, you know. But I still think, like, all those things that I said, they are my opinion. Super chat, time for a kiss. Top 3 countries with most handsome men. Oh my god. No, I don't know. I don't have much taste in men, I think. Like, I don't find men very much attractive, to be honest. And I'm not a lesbian, Like, I'm definitely straight, but I don't think men are attractive. Like, their personality is attractive, but then you shouldn't ask me about their nationality. um, yeah, I think it's very rare to find that actually like physically attractive men. mm, so I wouldn't know. mm. But I could say for me, I don't like when they are shorter than me. That's the only thing that I could say, just because I feel so tall already in my entire life. All my friends are like, they arrived me here, and I've always felt very uncomfortable with my height. So if I have to spend so much time with a person, I don't want the person to be shorter than me, possibly taller. My husband is very tall, which I love. Yeah, he makes me feel like I'm normal. And I am 18-wheeler. I am 183 centimeters, 1 meter 83 centimeters, or 6 feet tall. Matrix X asks, what about Brad Pitt? Well, he's very attractive. I think the whole world agrees with me with that, in that. Okay, how tall is Ali? Ali is my husband. Okay, he's 1 meter 95 centimeters. He's so tall. I'm so happy about it. Hello, Ernie. Welcome to the live stream. Don Vito, did you have a Catholic wedding? No, we are not religious. Both of us are not religious. John Alfredo is asking me about my nickname on Couchsurfing. Well, my Couchsurfing is private for safety reasons. After I started this channel, I changed my name there, and it's a name that, like, it's impossible to guess. It's a random one. Inceptacon says, your rabbit teeth are so cute. Thank you. Sorry. Stephanie asks, where me and Ali got married and where we met. We met here in New York City, in Manhattan. And we got married in New Jersey, in a small town on the Jersey Shore, because it was during the pandemic. We actually got married in kind of in a rush, just because otherwise I should have gone back to Italy. So we decided to get married after the pandemic exploded, because we wanted to stay together. And I was just a tourist here, and the American government didn't want to how do you say, to make my visa period longer. Not even for the pandemic. They wanted me to take an intercontinental flight on the 6th of May. Yes, that's your government, American people. Do something about it. So yeah, we got married in June in New Jersey, and in New York City everything was closed. Like, the clerk's offices were closed, so we had to go somewhere else to find an open place to get married. And Ali V7 Avalon asks, what nationality is Ali? I already said he's half American, half Turkish. Don Vito Cascioferro says you got married for a green card. No, actually, no. I couldn't care less about having a green card, honestly. It's just about staying with Ali. I want to physically be with him, and it was, after all, the best decision we've made, because if I had gone back to Italy during the pandemic in May or June, now I would be stuck there. Not stuck, but I wouldn't be able to come to the United States. Ali wouldn't be able to come there, and we wouldn't see each other for like months and months. So I'm very happy that we got married, and again, I really couldn't care less about the green card. I don't really want to live here. The only reason why I'm living here is because Ali is here. Otherwise, I would choose really another country to stay in. Matrix X, nice question. Do you eat some baklava and cevapi at home? So Matrix X, I think you said you're from Croatia, right? Well, yes, we do. We eat a lot of them because there is an amazing Serbian restaurant in this village, few blocks from where we live, and the owner is one of our best friends as well, and they really have amazing food. Like, it's one of the best tasting food places that I tried here in New York City. It's also a very beautiful place there, but now you cannot. Well, you can sit outside actually. We've had a couple of dinners outside this summer. It's called Kafana, by the way. If anyone is from New York, you should check it out because it's awesome. And very often we take dinner home from there, and we eat a lot of cevapi. Not a lot of them. It's always Ali who orders them. I eat a few, but as you know, for my environmental, reasons, I don't eat much meat. I try to reduce it as much as possible. And the owner of Kafana makes the best baklava I've ever tried in my entire life. So sometimes he makes it and he gifts us some, so we eat a lot of baklava as well. Do you want me to take a walk around? Another walk? Tell me, what do you want? We have, I think, 10 minutes left, and then I'll have to close. Matrix X, it's not in Astoria. Astoria is full of amazing Balkan places. There is this fish market that turns into an eatery during the evening, even at lunch actually, where you can buy the fresh fish there, and if you want, they cook it there, and you can sit at one of those tables and bring your own booze. It's amazing. It's called Astoria Seafood, I think. Everyone knows about that place. And there are many other Greek or Balkan places in Astoria, but this place is in East Village, Manhattan. Himanshu, as a vegetarian, I appreciate that you're cutting out meat in your diet. Yes, Himanshu, I appreciate that you are a vegetarian actually. I would be a vegetarian if I wasn't against extreme behaviors, let's say. For me, eating some meats once in a while does not make much of a difference. The important is that you don't eat meat every other day. That's it. I eat meat, maybe once a week to once a month, I would say, depending on where I'm living at the moment, who I'm living with. Now I'm living with Ali, who doesn't have the same attitude, although he's very respectful of my ideas about environment. So he also tries to cut meat. He cut a lot of meat out of his diet lately, since he is with me. Text man, we want you to finish your apple before the sun sets. Yes, me too actually. But I am enjoying very much, I must say. It's a delicious apple. Well, the sun is here. No, here. So I have a little bit of time more. I can make it. Let's see, I'll let you know. John Alfredo, what is my first name? Private, that too? I haven't shared it yet. I promised my patrons that I will share my real name on Patreon. But I haven't yet because I had an idea for a video where I would reveal that, but I need to be in Italy for that. So now I don't know how to make that video. So they're still waiting to know it. Nani Allegrini, you mentioned you don't like some things about US. What about American music? Do you have a favorite band genre? Nice question. About the apple, it must be from Connecticut. I don't know. Look, I honestly try to not look at where produce comes from here because I get so angry. Literally, 2/3 of the times it comes from the other side of the universe. Even like I don't buy much of exotic fruits. I try to buy local stuff. Even local stuff very often is from the other side of the planet. I don't understand. Why do you have to care only about money? Because they do so just because it's cheaper, you know? They get the fruit from countries where the labor is much cheaper, and because the transportation with the oil cost so low, is so cheap in terms of money, they go for that option. But honestly, what about the price in terms of energy, human resources, and environmental cost? Why don't we sometimes focus about that price as well? Why do we always have to only focus about money? Sorry, I get a bit too passionate now. What was the question? I forgot. Oh yeah, the question was about American music. Well, recently I'm discovering that the music and the bands especially that I've been listening to my entire life basically are mainly from the United States. I honestly never paid very much attention to where the bands are from because they were just, everyone is singing in English, you know. For me, I don't even understand what they say. I just listen to the music. That's what I enjoy. But I'm discovering that bands that I used to listen to, and they were very rare in Italy, not very rare, but they were a bit niche. I'm thinking about, I don't know, Sonic Youth, Pixies, all the grunge scene, that kind of music. But I could mention so many other bands. They were so rare in Italy, like I could not find any friends who enjoyed the same music that I did. And then now I'm discovering that those things were mainstream in the 90s here. I just didn't know. So I can say that I grew up with American music. A lot of you were asking me also which bands. I would say my household, there was a lot of Pearl Jam playing, REM, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I would say grunge in general. Yeah, Alice in Chains is still one of my favorite bands, and I still think that Lance Staley is the most beautiful voice in the pop music scene of the last decades. Yeah. Second most beautiful voice, probably Jeff Buckley, who was also American. So a lot of American music. Ansichtburg. Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder is best of grunge. Well, my brother is a huge fan of them. Eddie Vedder too. To me, honestly, I love Pearl Jam, but because they remind me of my childhood. I even went to a concert in my 20s of Pearl Jam in Trieste, in my home region, and I took my brother with me. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I was out of my mind. Like I was dancing like crazy. It was so beautiful. But Eddie Vedder, it's not really my style. It's a little bit too folk, I guess. Folkish, can you say that? Getting closer to the end of this apple. Matrix X asked, what about TV shows? What are you watching now? I haven't watched what you are saying, which is Orange is New Black and Money Heist. No. Right now I'm watching a lot of Grand Designs. It's a British series about architecture, construction and design, and I really love it. Don Vito Casciofero asks, how long have you been speaking fluent English? I mean, it's hard to say because it's a gradual process. I mean, what do you mean by fluent? I don't know. When I started this channel 2.5 years ago, it was my first trip in the United States. Before that, I had been in London for a few days, but I had never spent very much time in an English-speaking country, and I was able to have a full conversation in English. You can go watch my first videos, actually. I was just speaking much slower and I had to think more about the words. Before that, I would say my experience abroad when I was 21 in Germany has been a pretty big deal for English too. I mean, I was learning German there and I learned it very well. But at the same time, you hang out with a lot of international students and some of them are not able to speak German. So you still had to speak English quite often. So during that year, I think I went a big step forward in my learning process of the English language. Okay, from what class in Italy I started learning English? From school. I never took extra classes. I just went to public schools from elementary to middle school to high school. I always went to public schools and there you are taught English. Since the second year in elementary school we study English. Now probably even from kindergarten, I don't know. Himanshu, I vividly remember you making the video of early morning in the countryside in Friuli and showing vivid colors of the sunrise. I already cried once in this live stream. I don't want to replicate. Yes, that video. I used to have, that was last winter in the Christmas period. I was in Friuli staying with my family. And I had this amazing morning routine, which I'm not very good at maintaining a routine, which is something that I like a lot. But in that period, for like 2 months, I would wake up around between 6 and 7, I would say, so with the sunrise, and then immediately go out, like put a lot of layers on because it was cold, go out, and I would take a walk in the cold. So I loved that. It was very cold, it was all frost, and I would walk for 15 minutes to 1 hour, then come home, have breakfast, and then start working. It was so beautiful. Oh, such a beautiful period. And during one of these walks, I actually shot a video that turned out to be very important for my channel, actually, because not long after that one, I launched my Patreon page, and it went amazingly well. Guys, you don't really, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say. In 3 minutes I'm gonna close this live stream finally, but you have no idea how Patreon changed my life. I didn't expect that. That's the thing. I was so surprised because I knew about Patreon the whole last year, let's say, and then I started thinking about me opening a Patreon page probably late summer, like 1 year ago. And then during the early winter, I thought, you know what, maybe I should do it. Like, maybe it's time that I open a Patreon page, because it was a time when for months I was trying to get brand deals, which is what most YouTubers earn money from, I think. Okay, 10% battery. So I reached out to many brands of, I would have loved to be sponsored by a backpack brand, for example, because I travel with the backpack all the time, and I would have liked to, you know, one good quality brand to sponsor me, to give me their backpacks and say, make some advertisement for our company. And I would love to do that, because if something is good quality, I have no problems advertising it if I think it's a great quality product. Or now with the bicycle, for example, I would love if a company told me, you know, we give you a better bicycle to travel around, and our bicycle is gonna show up in each one of your videos to thousands of people. Whatever, that never went well for me, because it's a matter of really quantity. Like, you have to reach out to a lot of brands, like hundreds of brands, until someone actually says, you know, we might be interested. But I'm not good at that. I think it's such a waste of time, and I would instead focus on my videos, honestly, and on improve the quality of my videos. And then that's when I thought, you know, maybe Patreon could be a help. At least, you know, if, let's say, 100 people from 1,000 people that follow my channel donate $1, what is $1? Nothing. They would feel more involved in my channel and so on, and I could have at least $1 a month extra, you know, for buying food and stuff. And then I opened that Patreon page, and it went amazing. I think that in the first month I reached more than $400, which, if you don't know, for me the minimum for living comfortably is $500 a month. 500 euros would be, which is a little bit more. So it was very close to my, you know, living comfortably limit. And then in a couple of months I reached the $500, and now I am 500 and something. And I'm like, Patreon is literally the thing that allows me to focus 100% of making these videos, on making this live stream, on answering to all the emails that I get from you guys, which are many, I can assure you, answering to all the DMs on Instagram, and answering to all the comments on my videos. I think it's so important for me to answer all the mindful comments that I receive in my videos, that I really want to have the time for doing that, and it requires a lot of hours every week. Like, it's not something that you do in 5 minutes while you are on the train. So that's it. And as always, I want to end this live stream saying thank you to my patrons, because my patrons are there every single month. They have a pledge with me, even if it's just a couple of dollars. To me, it really makes a difference in my life, in my work, in what I produce. And thank you to all the people who contributed with super chats to this live stream. I really appreciated that. And thank you to everyone who just interacted, because I appreciate that as well. You made this live stream more lively and more interactive. Thank you for answering questions, and thank you for sticking with me. I promise I'm gonna finish this apple before the sun sets. I promise. Okay. Thank you to all of you guys. It's been such a pleasant couple of hours. Thank you for sticking with me. Goodbye from Staten Island. Best bar in New York City. I'm joking, but it's the best hidden bar in New York City for sure. Bye bye.